welcome to Hello Africa. My name is Favor Aya, but I like to be called Favorite. It's a beautiful Friday morning right here in the city of Lagos, and with me on the show is BC Pelumi. BC, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
You look quite reserved today. That's a good start.
You have to leave my calm and collected. That's the theme for this week, please.
Let's see how you hold that up until the end of the show. Well, of course, we'll have a good lineup of programs for you today. We'll have our top stories. We have our BB Niger and entertainment news. We also have our sport update. And of course, we have a wonderful topic to discuss with you this morning. Don't forget also we have our word fact, the most incisive part of our show today. But then, of course, we'll start off with our top stories this morning.
All right, so the first top story says federal government has identified and blocked terrorist financiers in Nigeria, says Malami.
Oh, well, I would like BC to go first on this, but then I just want to give my own comments. You know, sometimes informations like this gets me worried. Now, when he says mixed statements like this, I'm forced to ask, who exactly is this person, and why are you not disclosing the personality, the names? Because as good as possible, if you say this is what is happening or this is what is wrong, and it is not a very tactical situation, just go on and give out the names. But then, of course, Malami told the news agency of Nigeria in New York that the federal government has also succeeded in identifying and detaining high-profile individuals, that's what they call them, responsible for funding terrorism and terrorist activities in the country. And of course, like I said earlier, I'm forced to wonder, why not disclose the names? If you don't want to disclose the names, at least it's good enough that you tell us where these people are from, or give us a clue. I mean, so we would understand which of the, because we have so many, we have kidnappings, we have Boko Haram insurgency, unknown gunmen. What's the other one again? IPOB, different.
I feel like the reason why they might not disclose names is because Nigerians can decide to take laws into their own hands, and it's going to be a chaotic kind of environment.
That's not a good excuse.
It's not a good excuse.
Because you said you're.
You know, they didn't say that's not what they said. They just said they have their names.
They have their names. They blocked their finance.
What I'm saying is that they said blocked terrorist financiers.
Okay.
So as in they blocked
their
accounts.
Quite an access to them.
You know these people. So why are we blocking their accounts? Arrest these people for goodness sake.
Okay. So the reason I said they have access to them is because they said they've already started carrying out investigations on these people, and they've been keeping trails on these people. But then you can't keep keeping us in the blues. Give us heads up, mention names, and move on to get them already. What are we doing? Why is the process taking this long?
How high profile are these people? Are they so high profile that they are above the law?
Do you understand? Exactly. But then, of course, this is what happens when you're in a country like Nigeria.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, we've had to deal with things like this, and we just keep moving on.
Anyways, moving on to our second top story. U.S. stocks rise despite jitters over China Evergrande. Wow.
Okay, well, I mean, we talked about Evergrande and the debt and liability status of Evergrande last week, and oh no, that was on Monday, right?
Was it Monday or Wednesday?
Early this week. It was early this week. Either Monday or Wednesday.
Monday or Wednesday.
But then, of course, U.S. stocks rose, pointing to gains for major indexes as investors are remained upbeat that troubled with property giant China Evergrande Group. Well, you know, investors considered this because there has been growth in the U.S. Index, or I don't know how to put the.
Well, I feel like probably access to some kind of information that we've not seen in the public, because logically.
So what exactly? Okay, sorry.
Logically speaking, if a company that you have invested in is facing a debt, it has a liability of upwards of $200 billion. That's like $300 billion, and is indebted of $100 million. I think the smart thing to do would be to count your losses and cut your what's it called, your risks by not putting more, by not investing more funds into that. You know, you probably sell off your stock, or you know, probably just. I mean, just pull out your investment, pull out your resources and your investment. Do you understand? But for them to still be comfortable and for the stock to still be rising, then that means there's a stock market chatter that we don't know about yet. So we can't really understand.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. Exactly. So a few of the U.S. stocks or U.S. investments in this were mentioned, and of course, they said S&P 500 rose by 1.3%. They also said they've had their biggest one-day gain since July. Yeah, and then of course they also mentioned industrial average also rose up to 1.6%. Well, it's a good one.
But I think that means that it's just basically the U.S. economy that is reflecting on.
That's reflecting. Yes.
It's not really like as if it's Evergrande group that is doing anything.
Yeah. That's good. That's
all right. So our next one says Ex-Kwara Governor Ahmed reacts to AMCON takeover of his mansion. Wow.
Oh wow. Okay, so the AMCON.
I thought it was EFCC that takes over houses.
No, at some point, AMCON was also. AMCON did this recently because of his debt to a certain bank or 2 banks, I guess, because they said there were certain loans that was collected, summing up to about 5 billion naira.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. So
that's a lot of loans.
Well, I'm just going to read this briefly. It says, reacting to a development through his media aid.
Lawyer was left to no choice than to just, seize his property. Yes. But either ways, with the way the economy is now, I don't think he can pay up anytime soon. That's my own personal opinion, because right now, exactly 5 billion naira, and then with the economy, with the whole pandemic, I don't see how, unless if they have, or if he has other properties that he can, put up on the market.
Oh, how much properties will sum up to 5 billion naira? That's quite a lot.
You probably just service the loan. All right, so our next up story is Sunday Igboho. We are doing the needful to ensure justice. Federal government.
Okay, well, of course, the federal government says it's making efforts to get justice in the case involving Yoruba Nation's agitator Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho. Sorry. Well, of course, we've been talking about Igboho's case for quite some time now.
Yeah, he and then, of course, his Eastern counterpart.
Yes, of course, they've been in the news lately for certain escapades. But then, Minister of Justice, Attorney General of Federal Republic, Abubakar Malami, right, stated this on Wednesday in reaction to the judgment of an Oyo State High Court that awarded damages in Igboho's favor. Exactly. So this is, we are doing the needful, the law as it exists, and then working within the context of the law, ensuring that justice is done as far as the contending issues between the parties that are concerned. And of course, his representative or his lawyer brought up a case or filed that he be paid 20 billion naira for damages. You can imagine.
Wait, hold on. I don't understand.
Let me read through it. So last Friday, Channels Television reported that the court presided by Justice Ladiran Akintola ordered the federal government to pay the sum of 20 billion naira in damages to Igboho. Do you understand?
It's like protest. I think activism is becoming profitable.
It's becoming very profitable.
I need to join this cause.
You want to what?
I need to join this cause. So I mean, if 20 billion, how much damages?
How much damages? What exactly was the worth?
What was damaged?
Damage exactly.
We asked for the what? What was damaged? What was the damage?
That would be summing up to 20.
Maybe his reputation or his name, his character. I don't know. But either way, 20 billion is a lot of money. I mean, this guy can pay. What's his name? Ahmed, he can pay Ahmed's loan now.
For what's pay Ahmed's loan? Okay, yes, he can pay.
He can pay Ahmed's loan. He can pay the 5 billion naira and then just still keep the 15 billion. Well, wow, that's a lot of money. But either ways, since they've assured us that justice will still be served, and if the law is saying that they should pay that amount of money for damages, then I feel like
damages in his house in Ibadan. That's the only thing.
They've tagged him to be what's the word now? I don't want to say terrorist at some point. Do you understand? And he's not a terrorist. He's just an activist. So yeah, that kind of damages can be I mean, if his name or his character is expensive as 20 billion naira, it's good. I think it's something that you want to consider.
You want to invest in?
No, if I need to put myself into.
Okay, put yourself into. Oh well.
All right. So our next top story says, we are not aware of sacked civil servants, says a Niger Civil Service Commission.
That's now the point is
it's like this particular story.
Me because okay now we're not aware of sacked civil servants, says Niger Civil Service Commission.
So who
now,
sacked
the
them?
number of people who were retrenched or who were sacked would force you to understand why you saw the gestures on my face. We're talking about 726 civil servants were retrenched or were sacked. Now, if the Civil Servants Commission says they do not understand or they were not aware, so who carried out this?
Who did the sacking?
How would people just receive retrenchment letters?
And the commission in charge of that kind of, they are not aware. Who printed?
Now let me just read this. It says the Niger State Civil Service Commission has denied knowledge of the recent mass sack about 726 civil servants in the state, saying the action did not emanate from the commission. The commission, however, said that the list circulating on social media was claimed to have originated from the commission was doubtful and wondered who approved this dismissal list. So if the Civil Service Commission did not approve this, so how did the letters get out? 726
Who authorized the letter?
people.
There will be a signature on it actually, right?
Well,
from their employer.
Maybe, but of course, members of the commission disclosed this when they appeared before the House of Assembly ad hoc committee. Of course, the committee summoned them, and now nobody was owning up to the act. But then 726 people for no just cause. And then, of course, when they were asked questions by the ad hoc team, they also said the permanent secretary of the commission specifically said the order came from above. But now, when the chairman of this commission,
of that?
From
that
above,
is a very vague statement.
above?
Who is the above?
Now, these are the things you remember when we spoke earlier about the two ministers that were dismissed by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes, two categories of ministers.
And we were asking ourselves, is it okay now for people to just sit down and just dash out dismissal? So maybe someone else has decided, since my superior could do this, I have veto power to also do
say veto power.
Yes, 700 now, 700, and you can always do better.
At least Buhari's one was just like, what, how
just
many?
2%.
And you just decided to do
726%. And now, of course, the questions is there are investigations going on. Of course, the adult team, someone has to pay for this damage. But then, of course, they would be reinstated. We do hope
that they are
700,
they are and compensated as well.
And compensated, of course, for such. Well, of course, we'll just take a break quickly, and when we get back from the short break, we'll continue with our top stories. Welcome back. Of course, this is Hello Africa, and of course, my name is Favor Aya. It's been a great show today with Bisi Pelumi also in the studio. How are you doing, Bisi?
I'm doing good. I feel like you ask me how I'm doing every single time.
I just need to be sure that you are intact.
I am what? I am intact.
Okay, well, we're dealing with our top stories, and of course, next you can join us via the link in the description and be a part of our conversation. This one says Migrants deportation. U.S. envoy to Haiti resigns 2 months after appointment. Wow.
Yeah, the Department of State Services Special Envoy to Haiti, Daniel Foote, resigned as the U.S. envoy to Haiti following the mass deportation of Asians from the United States/Mexico borders, and most of them, were not having proper documentations and were illegal immigrants and all of that, and they were packed in mass into an aircraft and flown back to Haiti. And Daniel Foote is like, Haiti itself cannot afford to take care of itself, and that's why these people are fleeing, because there's poverty, and I think there's some certain level of unrest in Haiti, and they are fleeing the country, and they are sending refugees back.
So how much was this number that
a few thousands.
A few thousands. It got to thousands.
Yeah, it got to thousands. And here's what he said, and I quote, "I will not be associated with the United States' inhumane, counterproductive decision to deport thousands of Haitian refugees and illegal immigrants to Haiti." He stated that more refugees coming into Haiti will further the Haitian population simply cannot support the forced infusion of thousands of returned migrants lacking food, shelter, and money, with additional avoidable human tragedy. Because of course we are moving different people in mass like that. There's going to be human tragedy and all of that, minor accidents and things like that. But I do not blame the United States in a way, partially seeing at the fact that, number one, these guys are illegal immigrants, of course, and there's always a due process to accommodate refugees from different countries and then to grant them visas or citizenship. Then also seeing as how they are still, trying to balance the refugees from Afghanistan. Yeah. You understand? You remember that there was the whole Afghanistan. So they can't probably handle
both.
They can actually, but maybe they need to focus on the
This is them handling it.
This is them handling it to the best of their capabilities.
Of course.
Handling the first documented proper ones and then coming back to resolve this. I feel like he shouldn't have resigned. He should have just negotiated a better offer for Haitians and see how best he could have corrected this action. But hey, he also took the best action he thought was.
But I don't think resigning was the fastest or the best move for him.
It was probably to make a statement, because this now, his resignation, of course, has made Asian government and then the United States governments see as to what caused his resignation and see if it can be resolved on time.
Okay, well, I do hope things are resolved with them properly. Moving on to our next story. 1 dead, 2 injured as building collapses in Rivers.
Yeah, eyewitness states that both the dead and the injured were working on the building as at when the incident occurred, and the structural integrity of the building was questionable. Probably as a result of flooding, the mass flooding that has been occurring in Rivers State. So it's a sad one.
It's a very sad situation. Okay. This one says U.S. police reform collapse as Democrats, Republicans fail to reach deal.
Well, the idea is to create a bipartisan deal that's between both parties coming together and then finding that compromise to agree that this is what we should do. But unfortunately, Democrats' efforts to make officers personally liable for abuses, raising professional standards, and collecting national data on police agencies' use of force has been disagreed upon by the Democrats. They've also walked away from accords reached on several issues, including the banning of chokeholds. This bill was as a result of the protest, the Black Lives Matter protest, especially from the case of George Floyd that happened. So they've been having conversations, negotiations, and Republicans and Democrats have failed to reach an agreement.
Yes, of course.
Because Republicans are disagreeing on some funds of mental health and police check, to increase that fund and then a lot of things like that. And Democrats are saying, look, you can't ban some certain things. And then so there's just minor disagreements over the, but with time, I feel like the conversation is not over, because families of the victims are mounting pressure, visiting Washington D.C. every now and then. So they'll still have to open talks and see how best they can reach an agreement.
Okay. Well, this one says U.S. court orders Facebook to release records of anti-Rohingya accounts to Myanmar probe.
Well, it's not today that Facebook, and not even just Facebook, social media companies have come under fire from courts in the United States concerning social media bullying, racial slurs on social media, hate speech, and all of that. You know, but then Facebook has refused to provide this data despite the court order using the United States law of privacy policy. That would be a huge violation of privacy policy, and then the judge is saying that this is not going to count. Okay, let me read this. Facebook had refused to release the data, saying it will violate the U.S. law barring electronic communication services from disclosing users' communication. However, they had deleted that statement, that particular post, particular post that was anti-Rohingya, content shared on it. They deleted it, but they still want the data. But they just said the post which you had deleted would not be covered under the law, and not sharing the content would compound the tragedy that has befallen the Rohingya people, because obviously people have already read the post, right? Yeah. So this is just like how to control the effects and not to escalate.
Wow. Okay, UK's Boris needs to grow up and face climate crisis at United Nations.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson gave his speech also at the United Nations General Assembly. The majority of the talks at the General Assembly are human rights, climate change, climate change, and COVID, the pandemic. Basically, the pandemic, climate change, and then maybe a few human rights here and there. But do not forget that UK is supposed to host a climate seminar, sort of, in I think Scotland, thereabout. So he's using this as a means to like give a heads up, like we need to take the climate situation seriously and stop acting like a teenager that is still throwing tantrums all around the place.
But how much could they really do? I mean, with the climate situation, it's not like it's a man-made situation.
It is man-made. These are carbon emissions, pollutions from factories, from power plants.
But then is there an immediate response to this that would bring about any issues with what we're undergoing, the climate situation they're undergoing now?
The first thing to resolve climate change is not an immediate issue. The first thing is to convince people that look, it is real, because some people still believe that climate change is false, it's a fairy tale, it doesn't exist. Can you see the difficulty now? Can you see the irony? Like, scientifically speaking, it is existing, it is here, you can see it, and then people are still adamant and they are believing that it's not real. We don't need to fund any age or particular movements to reduce carbon
climate,
and then there are also there's also back channels and lobbyists who would lobby for private corporations that don't want to pour resources into climate change and all of that, because it's going to cut a lot of their profits in a way until they find a way to come up. But in a speech, he said if we keep on the current track, then the temperatures will go up by 2.7 degrees or more by the end of this century, and never mind that what we'll do to the ice flakes and then the ice caps and all of that. But anyways, the good news is two of the world's biggest economies and largest carbon polluters, that's the United States and China, have said that their country will no longer fund. China's president said their country will no longer fund coal-fired, while the United States President Joe Biden announced a plan to double financial aid for green growth to poor nations to $11.4 billion by 2024. So,
okay. Well, that's it for our top stories. We'll take up again, and when we get back, of course, we'll bring you entertainment and BB Niger updates. Africa. My name is Favor. With me in the studio is BC Malami, and of course we just rounded stories. Moving on to our entertainment and BB Niger updates. Yes, if you are just joining us, of course you can be a part of our conversation via the link in the description. Just drop your comments, and of course we'll treat as much as possible. Also, we have our top stories coming up, our sports updates.
Top stories? I think it's our
we have our
entertainment and BB Niger updates.
We have our topic coming up.
Yeah,
and of course, we also have our word facts. Yeah. So our first entertainment story for today says two Nigerian women who have been friends for 80 years celebrate as one of them turns 90. They are Hausa and Igbo.
See, it's news like this that gives hope that Nigeria
is having a future.
Yeah, it's having a future. No matter how little the hope is, we can still be united.
We're going to grow old like that. I mean, I'm south, you are west.
Yeah.
Eventually, when I'm about 100, you might just be about 70 or 80.
Thereabout. 70 is fine.
Did you say thereabout?
70 is good.
70?
I'll be 100, I should be 60.
Oh wow.
You'll be 100,
and then I'll
60.
sit and look at you and say, oh, we've grown old together. That's quite a good, interesting. And of course, it also showed both of them celebrating as one of them turned 90, the one from the southeast, the other one happens to be from Maiduguri. Very interesting story.
For 80 years, that's a
good and long time. Wow.
80 years.
Okay.
I wish I have a friendship to last 80 years as well.
Relax. Okay, this one says, stop using your ancestors as toothpick. Seun Kuti shuts down any comparison with Fela. Very disturbing. I don't understand this.
Neither do I.
Outfits and pose going on here.
Neither do I.
But then
and you're the fashion person. I don't
understand. Leave me out of it.
If you don't understand this, then
if I give my fashion critics, we probably won't live here. But,
okay.
But the pose, I mean,
is expressing himself. This is his inner self.
Now, leaving that to the story, of course, we already know how in recent times, especially since the Grammy Awards, when Wizkid also got something for himself with Thames and what's his name, Burna Boy.
Wow, you can forget Burna Boy's name.
I know you were just waiting for me to say Burna Boy, but then ever since then, of course, we know very well that Seun Kuti has been coming up to say different things, all manner of stuff about how his father is a legend, and of course, I'm not against him saying these things, but in this particular story, he said lots of artists have been taking lines from his father's previous track, taking credits for his own hard work, and he specifically said his father worked so hard in his musical existence and career, and if these ones who are coming in this age are going to take from it, they should probably go the right way about it. Probably, I don't know what the right way means. Probably they should
I think the conversation is driving towards copyright issues and...
Yes, but then of course, I don't understand. The industry isn't... if I decide to use a particular line because I find it very catchy for my song, it doesn't really have to be because someone else had used it earlier and he was a legend.
I understand your point, but at least give credit to whose lyric or lines you're using in your song in a way. Just give credits.
Right? Oh well. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Seun. I do hope people would be able to confront you and come to you properly for.
All right.
Now, this one says Toby Bakre's wife removes shoes, prepares to run after seeing guests at her surprise birthday party.
Okay. All right.
Whatever happens, please take it easy with the running. I think she's heavy. Yeah, so adding to that with any form of
exercise.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's just.
Okay, this one says Popo Gray has so much of your intimate unclad tapes. Tonto DK exposes popular married dancer Jane Myanna. What's that?
What's happening?
You know, that's the thing. So at some point, I thought Tonto DK was going to be quiet about this, but now she's
Wait, you know about it too?
Of course, we treated the story some days back.
Yeah, I know we treated the story some days back, but it wasn't in this direction.
Yes,
it was between Popo Gray and
now,
Tonto DK.
Yeah, of course, because Popo Gray dragged her to court, and of course, I think his court or his lawyer, they filed a suit against her and demanded a ransom. I think a ransom, yeah. I'm trying to see how I can place myself around the story and find out, okay, yes, exactly. Now, let me just read through this. It says Nigerian actress Tonto Dike has opened more cans of worms against her politician ex-boyfriend Prince Popogri in reaction to Popogri's 10 billion naira suit. So you see that everybody's, I'm sure the billions flying in your ears today has just been disturbing, right?
I said I was going to be calm and collected.
So everybody's dragging people to court and nobody's dealing with again.
Are we not, as in when, at what point did we cross from millions to billions? I didn't get the memo. What's happening?
But I mean, 10 billion naira lawsuit against her. Tonto Dike said he needed to answer, of course, to the law for having recordings of her and releasing it to the public. Mentioned that Popogri had several sex tapes of the popular dancer Jane Myanna in his possession, and he was going to also answer to that in court. But then why drag Jane Myanna into your own marital? But of course, I'm sure she's just finding everything just to go all out on Popogri.
I think she's just trying to prove to the fact that he's not. She's trying possibly to prove that he's not a decent person per se. As well. So everybody get their own share of the.
Well. I do hope these two have they come to.
The court will settle it. Someone will pay someone, sha.
But not as much as 10 billion. Come on.
You just spoke about 20 billion.
Okay, 10 billion is nothing.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, Rihanna screams in excitement, blushes hard as she meets Nigerian singer Tems for the first time. Okay.
I like how they
do you understand how the way these journalists just come up with these stories? And
because I saw the video and
I was wondering who was blushing. Who was blushing. But then, of course, it's possible. What do you mean?
It's possible. Yes, I mean, Tems, come on. Tems.
But for me, when we know we saw the video and we know whoever wrote this, big ups to you. Great job.
I'm doing good work. Let them farm us too.
Yeah, of course. Exactly. But it was a very exciting moment for Tems. Let's be very honest. Tems was quite excited to have met this, and of course, I feel like this is just great progress for her and her musical career. Yeah. In recent times, of course, she did a feature with Drake now. She's meeting Rihanna. The next person is Jay-Z. And the next thing we'll just hear, she's an international act with lots of features. I'm so proud of you, Tems. Big ups to you.
That sounded too intimate. But
please relax. Calm down.
I'm good.
It's not so intimate. I've not even met her.
Oh, okay.
Okay, moving on to our BB Niger updates. This one says, I was in the toilet, went to Blue Room. Nini tries to convince BB Niger housemates about her whereabouts. You were in the toilet. Are you trying to lie or what exactly? She said she was in the Blue Room. Whatever happened, well, my own take on it is, Saga, thank you for recovering from the whole saga you were trying
episode.
To pull up.
You should just go home.
No, please don't say that.
Saga have tried.
He has tried, and he would. I mean, there's love always keeps. Did you see Neo?
I like how you changed it.
No, hold on. I didn't change it. I was going to say, love has a way. People are in love. It helps them or it keeps them in the game. So, I mean, you could see Neo and from last.
I saw 4 couples. 4 couples from Big Brother Niger that lasted.
Yeah, they say quite a time because of their affair or something. So Neo and V had their time.
Next,
now it's
no. Do not compare Neo and V's solid, stable relationship.
Those two have been my favorite.
To Saga and Nini's situationship, unstable situationship.
Are you sure it's a situationship?
Nini has a boyfriend, for crying out loud, outside the house. Saga knows this.
Yeah, okay.
And Saga is still being Saga.
Well, I mean, even you cannot say anything. Nini is also giving him some, I don't know, as we will call it.
You don't realize one of our statements. One of our statements in this Big Brother Niger update. Yeah. I think, okay, it's not here, but I know she said that she hopes that her boyfriend would come to Lagos if she reaches the final. So it means our boyfriend is still in her mind.
Okay.
It's still in her thought. All Saga is doing is just...
You can double date.
Viewers, let's
because
proceed,
she has been giving him love. She has been showing him equal love.
How? She has been... Okay.
Our next story says, I connect with you whenever I watch you, Brother Shaggy throws support for white money ever since this edition of Big Brother.
We all know.
Brother Shaggy has been showing his support to white money, and of course we see a lot of farming and I don't know. He's doing well to support white money. Well, big congrats to white
money is for the win, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we're waiting. It's coming to an end really soon. We'll find out. Yeah. So shut the fuck up and don't be stupid. Angel blows out on Pere for making silly jokes.
Ooh, Pere's one is coming after you.
Well, it's just a random fight. I'm sure you're ready.
Okay.
Okay, Bib's acting like an immature child on national TV already. Well, all I have to say is, if we put you there, what exactly would be your reaction? What would you do? This is a game. If he chooses to play the game this way, same thing they said about Ozo last year, but Ozo is doing really good right now.
No. Ozo was different.
No.
Ozo, at some point...
Don't say he was different. They called him all manner of names. People said things just as they're saying. Okay.
Ozo could...
What do you mean?
At some point, Ozo could stay away from Niger.
There were even worse moments. People said all manner of stuff to Ozo.
Saga is worse.
Have you seen on social media recently, there have been pictures of Ozo, Saga, and I think some Nigerian actor. They've put all of them together and say, amongst these three, who exactly is who exactly is worse. But then, what I'm saying is, if someone is in a game like this, you do not really know if they're playing a game or they're just being themselves. Either ways, whatever, let them just leave.
I'll ask one question. If your answer is a yes or no, if your answer is no, then it means the case is settled. If your answer is yes, then it's also settled. If you were in Saga,
yes,
that explains why I am saying this. That's good. At least we know who to not vote for.
Please, please, let's just leave them. If I was going to play a game and love was what
don't
I
give an
chose,
excuse. You already said yes.
I'm saying the yes is because it's a game. If I was playing a game,
I don't like how you're giving it the excuse of it's a game. That's the more reason why Saga should not be
Because
behaving.
it's a game.
But Saga should not be behaving the way he's behaving if it's a game.
That's what has brought him this far, eventually, because it's giving us content. That's what people want. Okay. Oh well. Moving on, Angel reveals Perez. I think at some point you have to read some of this.
Why do you think I looked at? No, please go on. Go
okay.
On. You're doing such a good job.
Angels reveals Perez private parts.
That's not what it says.
BC.
I can take it from here. Has been in her mouth during an
No.
altercation.
You said you can take it from me.
Has been in her mouth during an altercation with him.
How?
Okay. I do not understand this.
I really do not also understand this. That's why I'm going to say we should move on.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Okay.
That's a wrap.
All right, that's it. We're just going to take a break. And when we get back, of course, I'll leave you with BC to take us on our sport update. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Eldo Africa. It's time to give you our sports updates. And the first sport news we have is Bundesliga. I have no reason to leave Bayern, says Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski has hinted he could finish his career at Bayern Munich as the Bundesliga leaders prepare for Friday's match away at bottom side Geruth Feruth. Lewandowski won Europe's Golden Shoe on Tuesday as top scorer in European football after he scored a Bundesliga record 41 goals in 29 games. Already the German league's joint top scorer this season alongside Dortmund star Erling Haaland with 7 goals in 5 league games. The 33-year-old Lewandowski has a Bayern contract until June 2023, and despite having often been linked to a move to Real Madrid in the past, he told reporters that he doesn't need to prove himself in any other league. Next up, we have Osaka withdraws from Indian Wells. The 4-time Grand Slam champion fell in the third round of the year's final major and break to concentrate on her mental health. Osaka has struggled on court since she withdrew from the French Open in May amid a row with tournament officials over required media appearances, which she said had a negative impact on her. The 23-year-old Japanese player won her first WTA title in Indian Wells in 2018, and the tournament says, "We look forward to seeing you in 2022, Naomi." All right, more tourneys, greater opportunities for African teams, says FIFA. Women's football and FIFA's desire to see more African teams qualify for the 9th edition of the FIFA's Women's World Cup in 2023 were the focus of a working visit by a FIFA delegation to Nigeria, led by FIFA Secretary General Fatima Samura and including FIFA's chief's women's football officer Sarai Berman. The delegation attended the inaugural Aisha Buhari Cup, a women's football tournament featuring 6 African national teams in Lagos, Nigeria. The Aisha Buhari Cup was conceived by the First Lady of Nigeria, Her Excellency Dr. Ms. Aisha Buhari, and aims to highlight the theme of playing for good, while also inspiring and empowering the women who compete in it. FIFA Secretary General Fatima Samura said, "Nigeria is a country. I am so pleased to see this passion being channeled into women's football. The Aisha Buhari Cup is extremely important as it allowed African teams the chance to have more competitive experience. The more we expand the opportunities for our girls to gain experience, the greater the chances of seeing more African teams qualify to the expanded FIFA Women's World Cup." Super Eagles legend shocked as fans chant his name outside stadium 22 years after leaving the club. Daniel Amokachi expressed joy having spotted a clip showing fans of Turkish outfit Besiktas singing and chanting his name. The former Nigerian international took to his Instagram page to share the footage, saying he feels honored, nicknamed the Bull. Amokachi was a cult hero at the Super League club where he played 77 league matches and scored 19 goals. And lastly, we have tension for Tuchel as Bayern joined Real Madrid PSG in tough race to sign important Chelsea. Rodriguez has been one of the best players at Chelsea so far this season in Premier League and other competitions. Brilliant performances have caught the attention of German side Bayern Munich, who wants his signature Paris Saint-Germain, and Real Madrid are the two other sides who are interested in the signing of Antonio Rudiger. And that's a wrap on our sports update. Next we have is our topic for the day and also our word facts. Stay with us, we'll be right back. But not to worry, we still have our hot topic for the day, our word facts, and with me, of course, is favorites.
Favorite. Don't even dare.
Oh, favor, Aya.
Of course, welcome back, and that was a wonderful sport update from our very own BC Malami. Thank you.
Very much.
Of course, we're moving on to our topic for the day. Malami, I think I want you to handle this.
Me? Oh, please, by all means, I insist you take this.
Okay, so we stumbled across a certain post on Instagram, and it's been causing a lot of worry, and that's why we decided to talk about it on today's episode of Hello Africa. I mean, now this one says, NYSC, of course, the National Youth Service Corps advises have someone to pay for your when traveling.
You know what just happened when you read that? You know that effect on skits where hey, Jesus is Lord. That's just what happened. That's what came to my mind when you read this part.
Now, first of all, I'm just going to read through this caption I can see here, of which I do hope it is edited and it is not actually in the NYC. I do hope so.
Let's just hope that it's a Photoshop.
Let's just hope it's a Photoshop. But then it says, when traveling in high-risk roads, such as, they even mentioned, wow,
such
as the boldness.
As in the courage.
For me. Now it says, such as Abuja to Kaduna, Abuja to Lokoja, to Okene, and or Aba, and to Port Harcourt. Then, of course, alert your family members, friends, and colleagues in order to have someone on hand to pay off that could be demanded. For what? The ransom for what exactly?
The one that shocked me is they should have the ransom on. Like I said, there's price tag to kidnap.
That is as you are traveling.
Like as you're traveling,
have a bag of 1 million naira, so that once you are kidnapped, you say, "Oh, I have my ransom. I was expecting this." So I say, "Make I carry the money here."
People are no vest.
Please, you people should
don't
not be
angry like this.
It's not as much as you want.
Do people take transfer? Do you take transfer or is there POS?
I say, let me just drop this one here now.
And
we
even,
don't have to make calls.
Let's wait first. How would someone traveling for National Youth Service calculate his ransom beforehand?
Yes, now just as you are buying your whites, your shoes, your stockings,
inside your budget, you write.
You also have a
possible ransom.
Possible ransom.
Okay.
For
am I the only?
Stating this, why would this be the only? I don't even understand how I just read this. How do I even read what I just saw now?
You can't read this one, my brother. You can't read this
one. It's a very disturbing thing. That's
it's sad, actually. It's
a very sad thing.
And given the fact that advising means, if this is actually NYS's handbook, and this is there, it means that we've gotten to that point in our country where we have accepted.
Welcomed, yes.
Okay. They are going to be kidnapping us. We don't know what we can do about it.
We want to. We are accepting this.
As in, you must still do NYSC, if you are coming for your service.
So they are not even saying we're scrapping.
They're not saying they will pause.
We're saying just be aware you will be kidnapped.
They must, just understand. In case they kidnap you.
No, it's no longer in case.
Sorry, when they kidnap you.
Because they didn't say just in case. They said when traveling.
When traveling. They're not even saying in case. Just if your route or your service will go through any of these journeys they mentioned, hold your ransom. Hold your ransom.
And a touch of
cash. But you should have your internet banking. Have an ATM card that you can, give to the kidnappers that I beg, I go for my service for call up. I don't want late. They say we'll reach there before 12. This is at 10:30. I get POS, take me and go.
Oh really, but then I think in regards to this, the federal government should really pay attention to some of these very disturbing insecurity situations. If this scheme has to continue, then we should have proper security or proper actions taken as regards security for core members. This has been the situation for many years now. We've always had to talk about, and to think that it's a general or a major general or who is in charge of the
retired major general
who is in charge of the scheme, and then this
you mean the scheme or
the
Nigeria as in our president?
The scheme. I'm talking about the scheme. Yeah, it's a general who is in charge of the scheme, and then you're adding this kind of statement. Are you trying to make a joke, or this is an actual?
It is a funny thing, but
I think right now I just hope this is a very, very.
I'm just praying to God that this is a Photoshop.
It has to be.
It has to be a Photoshop.
Right
NYSC cannot do this.
Once we're done here, I'm definitely going to look out for it. See this, I'll personally, the way I'm going to take it, I'll open the page and I'll hold it like this and take a screenshot.
It's real, yes. But if it's not real, we'll also say that it is not real.
But then, of course,
we just hope.
We do hope that this isn't.
I think this will be an interesting conversation in the streets.
Right? We should take it to the streets. What people think, especially for fresh graduates who are supposed to be going.
Would you like to proceed?
Yeah, because
would you like to serve your fatherland?
Would you like to go with not made 1 million, you've not invested in some business, you'll be using it to ransom yourself 3,000 naira. No, let's just.
I think they should just do like this.
Ransom fee.
No, serve the fatherland with a hint of possible kidnap.
How would you deal?
How would you deal?
Okay, so let's move on to our word facts. I mean,
before that, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to give you guys the word facts. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Of course, it's Hello Africa. It's been a wonderful show already, and yeah, this is the moment to bring you to our word facts. I have Pelumi in the studio, and Pelumi is dancing because I said word facts. Yeah,
that's how we get to learn.
Yeah, of course, we get to learn, to have fun, and word truths. And of course, our first one is very, very weird because I don't understand how I would do such a thing. Just because I want to burn calories.
Like,
okay, it says banging your burns 150 calories.
Walking up to the wall and back to my room burns 5 calories. I will do that. I'm good. Thank you very much.
I don't have to bang my head, please. I'm scared. Why?
Well, I don't want to say this. It sounds racial. I'll say the other one. You will not see a black man doing this.
You
No.
will.
No.
I know some black men who will do it.
Ah.
There are times I look at you and I feel you can do something like this. But don't take it like it's anything. Let's just move on.
Shots
Today's
fired.
Friday.
Oh no.
Okay, May 29 is officially Put a Pillow in Your Fridge
On
Day.
your fridge day.
Put a pillow on your fridge day. For what? It's believed that doing so brought luck, peace, and prosperity to the household. The tradition adapted over time to fit the main kitchen. Nowadays, families worldwide place a pillow on top of their fridge every year on May 20. If I marry a Korean, but I'm pissed, man. What the difference does it make?
You know the
we
sweat
sweat.
that
We have
sweat.
even if we don't have the
gin.
Sweat, yeah, can make that thing.
Even if it's not, it might not even be your personal sweat. If it be the one where you collect from bones.
Okay, that aside,
This bone in your body is in your ear, known as the Stips Bone. This tiny bone is an average 0.09 by 0.11 inches by, which is
3 by 2.5
millimeters in size. The Stips Bone can be found in the middle ear of humans and many other animals. It plays a vital role in transferring vibrations from sounds into the inner ear.
That's quite interesting.
Very interesting.
Tennis players can be fined up to $20,000 for swearing while playing at Wimbledon. It doesn't stop there, though. Okay, it doesn't stop there, though. If players swear once before or during a match, they are fined and given a warning. The second time it happens in one match, they may lose a point. On the third, they may lose a game. Then finally, they can lose the whole match if they swear 4 times. Swear, I mean cuss?
Yeah.
Cuss.
The F word. And a bunch of other vocabularies. Samuel L. Jackson would not survive being a tennis player.
Yeah, but I play tennis, lawn tennis specifically. And in my school, I have a professor who plays tennis so well, but he doesn't like to. I mean, he gets angry sometimes. So, I don't know.
Does he cuss?
Yes,
A lot?
that's why I brought. He easily just tells you, okay. Let me not call those names.
Please read the next one.
Okay. Now, BC, you have to stop this behavior of making me read the most absurd commentaries.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No problem.
I just
Most people fart around 14 to 23 times a day, while passing wind may sometimes be embarrassing. It's perfectly natural. By knowing what you eat, you can fart less often and prevent them from being too smelly. What? Okay. The foods most linked to farting include beans.
Wow. Top spots. Someone's favorite food is beans. So someone's favorite food is beans. I hope you get that. I didn't mention your name. I just said someone's favorite food is beans.
Broccoli, milk.
No, I think that's broccoli.
Broccoli, milk, and corn. Other high fiber foods such as fruits, peas, or cabbage can increase the amount of gas you pass. Oh well, so long as it's a good thing to pass out gas. It's only offensive when it's.
You see, I knew you would mention this
anywhere. Well, those people are going to have to deal with it.
All right, so this one says the following can be read forward and backward. Do geese see God? Oh. A palindrome is a word, sentence, or phrase which can be read the same way forwards and backwards. The word itself is from the Greek word palin, meaning back, and dromos, meaning direction. Palindromes have been around for thousands of years. The first known palindromes dates back to Egypt during the Greek occupation around 100 BC. The man credited with writing the first palindromes was executed for writing one that insulted his king. That insulted his king. It's the courage for me.
I'm telling you.
Right? You create something beautiful and you have king.
Oh well, in Uganda, around 48% of the population is under 15 years of age. Oh wow. 48% is under. Are they just giving birth to children? Uganda has a total population of 44.3 million. This means that there are around 20 million people under the age of 15 living there. In total, 77% of the population is under the age of 30. One of the reasons this number is so high is because the population is rapidly expanding. There were just 5 million people in Uganda in 1950.
That's the answer. The population is rapidly expanding. They are giving birth like rabbits.
Yeah, the women are just
My
giving
God.
birth.
Yeah, why will you say the women? It's the men too.
Okay.
They just did the pump water.
Okay, today is a Friday.
It's
so
a Friday.
You want to be as
It's a Friday. Why is the population rapidly increasing?
Please take the next
They're not
one.
saying because they're expanding. All right, on average, men get bored of a shopping trip after 26 minutes. Seconded.
I agree.
Meanwhile, women don't get tired of shopping until around 2 hours have passed. On top of this, it's been found that 8 in 10 men hate shopping with their partner. Men who are promised a treat at the end of a joint shopping trip are more likely to pretend to enjoy shopping with their partner for longer. So next time you see a woman at a store with a bored-looking boyfriend, you know they've been out for more than half an hour. My God.
Imagine.
You cannot be Misha.
I can't.
No.
15 minutes, I'm
Nope.
already giving you a headache.
Because we know what we want. We just go into the store, we get what we want, and we're out.
And we're out. But
and
ladies,
ay, mama mia.
one.
This one will fit you.
In the 16th century, Turkish women could initiate divorce if their husbands didn't provide enough coffee. Oh, this would be unheard of today, but coffee was an integral part of Turkish society back then. It was introduced into the country in the 15th century, and by the 16th century, they had mastered the art of coffee. Coffee became so popular, it seems that it became grounds. No one knows who exactly this actually came into the law. Why this exactly came into the law, but the fact remains that it was. Oh. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's very weird as well. But then, of course, that brings us to the end of our Weird Facts for today, and of course, to the end of our show today. It's been a great show.
Thank you for joining us, Favorite. Thank you for holding it down, and
Yeah.
it's been wonderful. It's been a great top story, eventful sports updates,
Yes.
interesting topic that we'll definitely ask the general public,
Yes,
and
really
a lot of other things like that. So yeah, thank you for holding it down with us. My name is Adebisi Pelumi, but please call me BC.
My name is Favor. I like to be called Favorite. Here's me wishing you an interesting and a lovely weekend ahead. It's a Friday. Make sure you don't drink excessively and drive. And of course, we'll see you sometime again next week.
Yeah,
Have a lovely weekend.